Good morning, my friends. My name is Lama Jigme. I am the non-sectarian Buddhist monk, teacher, healer, and tantrika. I thought it would be fun today to talk about the requirements to teach meditation, at least in my book. As I've mentioned several times, there is a dichotomy between fundamentalists and liberals. Many of you have a group of people who are excited, sincerely enthusiastic about one thing, whether it's spiritual or religious, whether it's secular or recreational, whether it's science or the arts, whatever. The majority will be fundamentalist, the minority will be liberal. Fundamentalists tend to be driven by fear and governed by rigidity, which can give birth to intolerance and eventually aggression. Many fundamentalists define themselves by what they don't do. That's often due not only to their fear, but their perfectionistic tendencies. For instance, over the millennia, many people have come to define a monk by what he doesn't do. Liberal Lama Jigme does the opposite. He said, and I define a nun or a monk by what they do. And in my book, a nun or a monk is a man or a woman whose entire life is centered around four things: study, practice, teaching, and healing. So in other words, Buddhist study, Buddhist practice, Buddhist teaching, Buddhist healing. For a nun or a monk, in my view of things, everything I do is either directly or indirectly involved with that. And I'm not talking about finding a mealy-mouthed excuse or a justification for things, but the sincere intention of our heart. I know a disabled monk who, because of his condition, has to rest, and so he coerces himself into resting by watching DVDs. Once his energy returns, he stops the DVD, regardless of how exciting the movie may be, and returns to his life of study, practice, teaching, and healing. So he's not using his illnesses and disabilities as an excuse to watch movies. He uses movies as a tool to rest, and then once he's rested sufficiently and he feels energetic, he goes back to work enthusiastically. Because if we're not doing the study, practice, teaching, and healing as the spontaneous overflow of our heart, then we're leading a really unhappy, unfulfilled life, and we need to find that which will fulfill us. Let's continue. I've known many people who've taken spirituality or religion as their career. And they have many dreams of avarice. Now, money is useful. It's great for buying clothes so you don't walk around naked. It's great for shelter so you don't shiver in the cold. It's great for food and medicine so you stay alive. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But it's not the measure of our success upon the spiritual path. I've known many people who, because of self-esteem issues or greed issues, felt the need to get going vocationally as quickly as possible. I've known many people who, are really unprepared to teach. It's been my experience that My teachers explained to me that in the Buddhist sutras and shastras, we read that Buddha described the path of the Bodhisattva as having 10 levels. Those levels in Sanskrit are called bhumis. The first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th. 10th being full enlightenment. I've already discussed what enlightenment is and liberation is in a previous video. So let's continue. Personally, I don't think anyone should teach until they've accomplished the 9th, unless the 10th Bodhisattva Bhumi. Many teachers have accomplished the 6th, many more have accomplished only the 1st or the 2nd. Accomplish the 10th. Because let's face it, if you don't know how to accomplish the 10th, how are you going to teach other people to accomplish the 10th? It's kind of a simple thing. You can only guide people to a place that you have already been. At least that's what the teachers of yore explained. So let's talk about that. First we acquire the teachings, then we practice the teachings, then we master the teachings, and only then do we share the teachings. But, you might say, what if someone comes to me and they're a lot of emotional pain or physical pain, the doctors can help them, the psychologists can help them, I feel the Dharma can help them, what should I do? Should I sit on my hands and do nothing? Just kind of, la la la, I don't hear your suffering. No. Direct them to a teacher whose whole life is the Dharma and who's had a profound effect on you. That's what you do. Now, so let's talk about acquisition of the Dharma. It's been my experience that one can acquire a sufficient understanding of Buddha's teachings, sufficient enough to accomplish a path in a retreat setting in 2 weeks. For instance, if they're sitting in class and they're practicing class too, 2 hours per class, 4 classes a day, 8 hours a day for 14 days. That's a lot of potential learning. And if they practice well and their instructions are well and they've got their ducks in a row, they can really accomplish a lot during those 2 weeks. Now, for the nuns and monks out there, I recommend keeping a log of how many minutes a day you spend chanting and meditating. And here's a hint. If you're spending more than 25% of your practice time chanting, you're missing the boat. You need to spend 75% or more of your practice time in silent meditation. So here's the goal I recommend. 600 minutes a day for 10 hours. I'm talking to the nuns and monks out there. So you can do 10 hours a day for 10,000 consecutive days. You will have gone a long way to making sure your understanding of the teachings has migrated from the brain in your head to the brain in your belly. You have gone from just competence to mastery. Let's explore that a bit further. What if there were 4 levels to mastery? The first was ignorance of ignorance. You say, have you accomplished the Tathagata, and you say, Gesundheit. The second is awareness of ignorance. I ask, have you accomplished Tathagata, and you say, I don't know what it is. Would you please explain that to me? The third level is contrived competence. That means you've intellectually understood the full spectrum of Buddha's teachings, and you know how to apply them to your own life, physically, verbally, silently, mentally. Well, 9 yards. What then is the difference between contrived competence and spontaneous mastery, when we were able to apply the teachings spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively, then we have accomplished true mastery. I've got a question for you. Why did the Buddha persist in meditation after he accomplished enlightenment? Here are the two answers. Interdependence and impermanence. Causality and change. If you keep on doing that which gave you success, you'll continue to receive success. If you cease to perform the actions that gave you success, you'll cease to receive success. So Buddha took certain actions to accomplish the path, and then he persists in those actions so he can maintain enlightenment, because everything is subject to interdependence and everything is subject to change. My friends, there is no 11th Bhumi, there is no 12th Bhumi. There is enlightenment or there is not enlightenment. But there is enlightenment and then there is enlightenment. Once you accomplish the path, to persist in meditation 10 hours a day for 1,000 consecutive days as a lifestyle, your evolution will be profound. And to work a little blue, I assure you, the universe will reveal its secrets. It will open up to you, reveal its innermost essence like a drunken prom date. So, in a nutshell, I define a nun or a monk as someone whose entire life is about study, practice, teaching, and healing. And to me, prerequisites to teaching or acquisition, practice, mastery. Quickest path to mastery after you've acquired the teachings. And by the way, if you can't go to a retreat, then attend a class every week, about 50 to 75 weeks should be sufficient. Do that, and you will acquire the teachings. If properly presented, they're not that intellectually challenging. If you choose to be a fully ordained nun or monk, to wear the cool robes and have the cool haircut, I implore you, practice the teachings 600 minutes a day or 10 hours a day for no less than 1,000 consecutive days. Make this a lifestyle. Because let's face it, if meditation isn't fun, meditation isn't pleasurable, then we're doing it wrong. If we're not doing it in a way that's fun and fulfilling, then what have we got to teach others? Let us not teach others to bolster our self-esteem or our self-importance. Let's teach others because we've found stuff that really, really works. Thank you for your time and your kind attention. The Monday series of weekly webinars begins December 2nd. If you live in the greater Los Angeles area, come on down where the venue is going to be very close to the intersection of Strathern and Lancashire in North Hollywood. If you don't know where these places are and you live elsewhere, no problem. You can participate in the Skype auditorium. But sadly, both my venue and the Skype auditorium are limited in space. Only so many people can come. So if this is important to you, use the lamajigme.com link below to register. If you have any questions or comments or simply want to give me a cyber hug, then I invite you to use the Facebook link below. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Om Namo Buddhaya. Bye-bye. Whoops, I'm out of focus. Come on, camera. Bye-bye.